What is good, people? Welcome to episode 1 of ENiGMA Chatz. ENiGMA Chatz is a new series which I'm starting, which is basically a podcast and interview series where I'm going to sit down with various people in the scene, in the industry, and often alongside my manager, Tom. Myself and Tom, we both run Morii Records together, and it's a great opportunity to delve into how the labels run, what's going on for ENiGMA Dubz projects, and also other artists that we're working with in the scene and other artists which I'm communicating and collaborating with. So for episode 1, we thought there's no better person to get on than Neumonic, because Neumonic has just recently signed to Mory. He's the first guest artist that we've actually signed onto the label, which is very exciting after getting the label off the ground for the last 3 years. He's based out of California in America. He's pushing UKG really hard out in the States, as well as other genres as well. He touches on dubstep. He's a big D&B fan as well. And you'll hear all about this in the episode. So check it out. I hope you enjoy it. And while I'm here, let me just remind you, Neumonic, this one's Nawty EP is dropping. The full EP is dropping very soon, and the singles are already out there to listen. So go and show your support, go and enjoy. And I hope you enjoy ENiGMA Chatz episode 1. It's somewhere in Solihull, probably.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, this is Nick's like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
So how are you doing anyway, man?
Doing good. I'm finally back home. My room's a mess, but you can't see it, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just traveling a bunch, but playing some cool shows and that. But yeah, things are good. I'm finally like,
Yeah, sick, man. You're playing out a fair bit.
yeah, that was wild for a little while. But yeah, I mean, that was fun. It was a lot of shows, kind of all over. I was just in like Colorado for like 2 weeks, and then before that I was in like a bunch of like LA and all sorts of places. But yeah, no, got that out of my system, and now I'm chilling at home. Actually, like opened up Ableton yesterday, which is great. I'm really bad at working on the road, and yeah, it's been nice to. I mean, yeah, I don't have the fancy headphones and microphone like you guys, but I am at my studio.
No,
Mate, you'll get there.
And how was the Denver show? It looked like a lot of fun with Sam
Yeah,
Binga.
because didn't you play with Sam Binga? Was that in
Yeah,
Denver?
so that was
Cervantes.
no, 2:30. I was there for a while, but yeah, I played with Sam Binga. Was hanging out with him. He's an absolute riot.
Yeah, he's a character, man.
Yeah, I saw some shit on your stories and stuff.
Yeah,
Funniest.
to promo our show, we ate Rocky Mountain oysters, which are bull testicles fried.
Yeah, what was funny is you said to us in our little group chat that you were eating oysters with Sam Binga, and I was like, man, I'm jealous.
I know you said
Fucking
you're
fair play
jealous.
to you. I love oysters and all this. You failed to include the Rocky Mountain part, and they're in fact testicles. Because I wouldn't have been so excited and so stoked. Do you know what I mean? / jealous.
Well, I have the screenshot saying that you were stoked on eating bull testicles.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Blackmail. He's got
Did you eat them?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was kind of the whole point.
Did you eat multiple?
Yeah.
How did they go?
How are the bulls' testes? Are
fried?
they
They're
tasty?
fried. Fry anything, and it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And you get a nice little sauce with it. But yeah, we're making this promo video for the show like a month before, and he mentioned it. He was like interviewing me, and it was one of his questions, like, are we gonna eat Rocky Mountain oysters? And then I guess we just actually did it. Just, I don't know, it was fun. And then yeah, that was definitely up in the game on promo for a show. But then yeah, the actual show was super fun. He was up on stage, like hyping us all up the whole time, kept asking for IDs and
or Dubz, because he cussed you out.
I'm not gonna get into that.
I love that. I love that. That's brilliant.
I love that. It's fun. Like, I call it like Dubz, like with my friends, and when I think of like an individual track, I'm always like IDs. But yeah, and then he roasts me on the IDs. That was great.
Hell yeah.
The Dubz. Like I say that.
I've seen many roastings over that in the last year.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, man.
Yeah,
I love that. I mean, I much prefer Dubz, but then like when especially I was like, that makes me track when I was promoting it. It's because like all my set list, it says like Neumonic ID.
ID,
So,
yeah.
My favorite. Yeah. Maybe even the set list or the track list. I should be putting dub, not ID. I don't know. America.
No, man, don't overthink it too much, man. Sam Binga's in your head.
I was going to say, next time we send Sam a promo, we should say new ID for you, mate. And
just wait for him to bite.
Yeah. But yeah, the show was super fun, and it was funny. He like can't, that moving track of mine that's like blowing up. Like he went up and like and asked what it was again. Like it was like we played together like a year ago, and like it was the same thing. And he walked up. He's like, "What's this track?" And I was like, "Oh, it's mine." And then he's like, "Oh, does it have a home?" And I was like, "Fuck," because like I don't know. It sounded like he might want it for Pineapple, which is definitely like
that'd be dope.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was already signed. It was coming out like in 2 months or something. But yeah, no, he was a big fan. It was super fun. Yeah, it was just a very, very, very fun show.
Sick, man. Yeah, and didn't Jamie XX play that tune?
Yeah, Jamie XX. That was like the same weekend, or that was last weekend. Yeah, that was pretty wild to see.
So did you get tagged in the video to find that out?
Yeah, it was actually this girl that lives in San Francisco that's like friends of friends. Like I didn't know her like I think I'd probably met her like at a club or something, but we didn't even like follow each other or anything. And then she, I guess, like literally tried to Shazam it in the crowd. And this is at Pitchfork Festival in Chicago, I think. Yeah, like Chicago.
Yeah.
And yeah, she literally like Shazam the track to try to, to download it. And yeah, she was like, "Oh, Neumonic, wait, that sounds familiar, from San Francisco." And then she took a video and then just tagged me. And I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." And then after that, I mean, I found a bunch of other videos. I mean, it's, with the artist that big, it's pretty easy to just find videos.
I love that.
That's so sick though, because Jamie XX, like I was saying to you on WhatsApp, his remix of Florence and the Machine, that was one of my favorite tunes when I was at uni. Do you know the one, Jay?
I don't, not off the top of my head. It's same with me though, Jamie XX while I was at uni.
Yeah, it's the You've Got the Love. He did like a boot.
Yeah, I do remember it.
He did like a bootleg of that on like a garage tip.
Yeah. It's got, is it quite vibey, and it's got like
it is, but it's still quite organic, and it's got like plenty of subs.
Is it New York is Killing Me, one of his tunes that I'm thinking of? I think it's called New York is Killing Me. I used to play it in my sets quite a lot, a Jamie XX tune, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
From discussing that though, I had a question for you, Nick. When's the first time you heard one of your tracks on a system? Like in a rave, have you been somewhere where someone's played your track and you've been there?
I can't even think of like the first time,
because I do know the impact that has on being a producer when you hear it and it's not you playing it, and it's like, oh man, this is sick.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was, well, actually the first time I guess I wasn't in the crowd and heard it, but actually Turnian Sound was the first person to play out. It was like literally the first song I ever put out. It was like the Drip Drop. It was like a dubstep, and it's like a deep dubstep track on Wood Fam.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I wasn't in the crowd for it, but I mean, I'd been producing for a while. I was really like in my head, wasn't really releasing things. I was kind of my own worst critic. I was ready to like scrap that whole track. Like you just hear it too many times, like especially at the beginning of producing. Like that was like, it was one of like the first dubstep tracks that I made like from start to finish. I always like make little ideas, but never actually finished it. And I was like, I just heard it too many times. I didn't think the track was good anymore. And then I randomly just like sent it off. My friend Lee Lotus works for Wood Fam. I saw that they were taking submissions. I just sent it to them, and they took it immediately. And then when that came out, Turnian Sound just like tagged me in an Instagram story. It was like the Turnian Selects, and that was really cool. I was like, damn, like especially like Turnian Sound. Sick, like I'm a huge fan of them. Like
wow,
they're playing out my track. That's crazy.
Man, so how long ago was that?
It was like 2 years ago. I haven't been putting out music for that long. But yeah, I think that was like when did that come out? Oh wait, no, I don't think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, sick. Because that was something we were going to get into. Like, it'd be really interesting, sort of, to go back and like, was music always a big part of your life, or was it? What was your kind of route into music?
Oh yeah, that was 2 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah, that was only 2 years. Yeah, 2 years ago I put out my first track. But yeah, I mean, I'd been putting it off forever, making music. Even the DJing part. Like, I really started like DJing like 2019, like 2019. Like, it hasn't even been that long either. But yeah, I've been very invested in the scene ever since. Like, I mean, I was like in like 6th grade. Yeah, I get like super into all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I literally have just been deep diving electronic music since I first heard it in like 6th grade and middle school out in America. Yeah, I mean, I was like the only kid like listening to this kind of stuff, and I was just like deep digging on like UKF. It was literally like 2010, and I was like listening to like the 2010 like dubstep stuff, but I was like a little kid and I couldn't go to shows or anything.
Yeah.
Sick, man. So what was your kind of gateway? Was music? Were your parents into music, and like what got you into kind of electronic or?
My parents were into music, but not into electronic music. They like, I grew up like with like Aerosmith and like ZZ Top and like
like classic rock kind of.
Classic rock. That's what my dad, my dad really got me into. It was really one of my older friends. Yeah, I was like in 6th grade. I was hanging out with these friends that didn't even go to my school. They were older. We were smoking weed, way too young to be smoking weed, but smoking weed and put on Pronail's Rusko remix. And I'd never heard, I'd never heard dubstep before. I feel like I maybe had, and I think I'd heard like some like, I guess like EDM, I don't know, like David Guetta and like all that, like, you know, the stuff that like you'll actually hear through like top 40 kind of stuff in America.
Yeah, like
I hadn't heard like actual just like dubstep, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And obviously I was high too, so a little kid, and I was just
yeah, for sure, man. That's a double impact.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be my new identity forever. It's hilarious. But even before that, I guess I had listened to like some, like I was really into like Crookers and Bloody Beetroots and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like the Bloghouse era, I was really into that stuff, and that was from like my other friends. But I guess it's all EDM, but yeah, really like dubstep and like kind of bass music was the Pronail's Rusko remix, and then I really dove into like UKF and just kind of all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I was just like experiencing it on YouTube with like my Skull Candy bass boosted headphones as a little kid, and like couldn't go to many shows. Like, it was funny because I got into it really young and I couldn't go to these shows. I know it's a little bit younger like in the UK, but like America, like it's, you know, it's like 18 and up, most of this stuff. Like maybe some of them are 16 and up, but
yeah,
like
it's the same here. Like it's very rare that you'll get a show that's you can let in under 18s.
Yeah. Well, but like the 18 is like the 21 here. So like the 18 is just like the bare minimum, but like the clubs, like the bar clubs where like most of like this, like most of the shows I play are 21 and up.
Really?
Yeah. Because like the drinking age is 21 here. So all like the clubs, it's 21 and up. The 18 and up, really, it's just like a different vibe. You don't get like these underground people really playing the 18 and up that much.
The reason I say the 18 is I had an experience when I was in the West Coast, near San Francisco, actually, a place called 𝗘𝗚𝗏𝗚𝗚.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was only 19, me and my mate were traveling, and we'd done San Fran, and we went to 𝗘𝗚𝗏𝗚𝗏, and we worked on a vineyard there for like a month. But we were only 19, and we kept trying to get into places with a like doctored driving license that we like hand changed. Yeah. And a lot of the places were not having it, but there was this line dancing spot called Kodiak Jack's, and they would let us in only if we wore these wristbands that said we were not 21 and we only had to have soft drinks. So we just used to get high in the parking lot and then go in and do like actual line dancing. These kind of like redneck Northern California people. They were all really nice, but it was just like very different.
So different.
But I didn't know if there were any shows like that would do that in the States, or is it all just 21?
Well, I mean, there were like it just depends on like the venue. So like I mean there are some like all age shows. Like I mean my first like I hate calling it like a rave. I mean I was able to see like Porter Robinson. Like that was like my first. Oh no, Wolfgang Gartner was my first. Wolfgang Gartner was the first ever like EDM show I went to, and then I think it was Porter, and then I was able to see like That's Sick, rest in peace, and like Excision, and like, but like I couldn't see like proper underground. Like,
Yeah.
we had this like younger club in downtown San Diego. It was called Somewhere Loud. It definitely did shut down. But yeah, they would have like I saw like Datsik there. Saw Excision. I mean, this is like a 200-person room, so it was pretty crazy to see these huge people like in a 200-person room. I think like Dodge and Fusky played, but yeah, they wouldn't. It was really, those younger kids, and I mean, I guess I kind of was into it. It's funny because like I got into it all like with the proper like underground, but then because of the shows I could go to, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to a rhythm show, bro step show. But it's like the only thing I could go to. It was like I remember like Feed Me came into town, and I was so excited to see Feed Me. I was a huge Feed Me fan. And then it was at the all ages thing, and then they moved it to like an 18 and up like venue, and I was so pissed off.
And you couldn't go.
Yeah, I was so pissed, and I was probably the only person like under 18 that was like so stoked to see Feed Me.
So was it dubstep that was the first genre that you were really drawn to?
Dubstep and like blog house, I guess, if you guys are familiar. Like it's kind of like the old like French house. I really was into that kind of stuff, like 8-track, it was kind of like that whole wave of
I don't know that term actually.
Block house. I know,
block house, yeah.
It's more like French house, but like yeah, kind of like
Justice and
yeah. Well, oh man, I actually have some up here. Yeah, I mean like Justice. I mean like the Daft Punk, like that kind of stuff. But like 8-track, like Bloody Beetroots were kind of like the Crookers. I don't know if anyone like the Crookers is definitely kind of in that realm.
As in Crookers that did like Day and Night and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's like the very like filtery. It's like kind of filter house. So like some people call it like filter house, French house. So there's all sorts of
okay. I know Crookers as fidget, not as what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah, fidget. I mean, there's so many words. There's so many words for the same thing.
Yeah, so it's that sort of bracket.
Yeah, it's all in the same thing. I don't know. Maybe Blockhouse is like more American term, but it's actually they called it Bloghouse because all that music got big on blogs. Yeah, it was a whole different era of people just. But yeah, so like everyone is always confused with that. But yeah, definitely, fidget. Fidget house, French house, that kind of stuff. But that really was like kind of more like party scene. Like that was like what we play like at parties and stuff. But really like I was only like, I mean, this was a while ago, but people weren't playing like dubstep and stuff at parties, especially.
No.
So that was more like what I listened to like by myself, and then like kind of parties and stuff like that.
And what sort of year was that? Would that be? Just trying to contextualize it.
Like 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after that, then from that house and the dubstep, what introduced you to garage music?
It was always kind of like the in between. Like I've always listened to everything. I've always actually DJed everything. Like actually when I started DJing, I was a house DJ, and then I was a bass DJ, and UKG was actually like the one genre that I play in both sets. Like if I'm playing a house set, I can throw in some UKG. If I'm playing a bass set, I can throw in some UKG. Yeah. And then it was always kind of like the in between. I was always into it, but I don't think I fully knew what it was. And I was really into bassline before I was into UKG, because especially at a young age, I just loved that like super aggressive. Like it was the same even with drum and bass. Like I was like into drum and bass, but like I really like got into jump up, like aggressive jump up drum and bass, and then tone down. And
Mr. Happy and all of that.
Oh yeah, there's videos of me playing Mr. Happy. It was like it's
But I know that feeling. I think I did the same. I got into like underground dubstep and garage from the proper Aggie stuff, and then started to appreciate the deep end of it, and then been like, okay, I need to go back now.
Yeah, and I mean, there just really wasn't like much of like UKG. Like I always like really liked it, but there wasn't. I mean, it just there wasn't like a UKG. There's never, I mean, now they're kind of, but there was never like a UKG scene. Like honestly, in America, it's really like night bass that was really like bringing that into
bringing that flavor into it. What can you remember any of the early tracks? that you kind of vibed with the most?
I'm
wondering what era, yeah, like out of the garage stuff.
I mean, honestly, it's the Ed Case refix of Gorillaz.
Yes.
Yeah, like, because I mean, I think I have the Gorillaz album up there.
Yeah,
like,
sick.
That was like a really cool like crossover, and I remember like I heard that, like, I feel like that's a lot of it with like the early influences. Like, I mean, I was so young. I'm like in America. There's no UKG. I'm literally not even like old enough to like go to clubs and stuff. So like I don't like have all, you know.
No, I was exactly the same when I came into all of this through garage, and when I came into it, I was like 14. So it was years before I really understood what it was about on a system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I always like enjoyed it, and especially when I became 18 and started going to shows, it really was Nightbase was like the only place in the scene I was going to that I could really just be like, oh yeah, I can go listen to this kind of music that I like. And yeah, it was really nice, you know, not fully UKG, definitely more you know, bass house and
bass house influence,
baseline. But yeah, I mean, like AC Slate, I mean, they would always like play some, but yeah, they're, you know, especially
like early Taking New Light and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was
sort of era.
early Taking New Light. They had these like Russians, like Phlegmatic Dogs. They were doing some really cool stuff on there.
Okay.
I mean, Hans Glader, you know, that's a US UKG guy. AC Slater has always been one of my favorites. Yeah, I mean, just kind of that whole label, they just really nailed it in terms of like what I was listening to at the time. And yeah, it was just really one of the main outlets, I guess, like kind of in the more mainstream. I wasn't fully into the underground UKGs yet. But yeah, Nightbase was definitely, when it came to shows and stuff, because that's really what it was. Right when I started going to shows, I was like, all right, how can I like experience this? And Nightbase was like the closest thing that we had, kind of in like the mainstream-ish. And then once you turn 21, then you can go to the underground. Like then I can actually go to see the proper stuff. So yeah. It's kind of,
were there any, because I know you like sort of multi-genre,
I do,
like artists as well. Was there any particular artist that really inspired you or you really latched on to? Because I know obviously there's tunes, but are there any like artists you'd really like delve into? Kind of,
like kind of like to influence like kind of my project, or just
and just as a fan as well.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, James here, like that's why I was so stoked to
like that's too kind, man.
Yeah, it's not even cheap. Because like even if we weren't even like doing the thing, I would definitely like you'd be one of my top. I mean, just because
thank you,
I
man.
don't feel like there's many artists that are doing like kind of what you did. You know, you release like the Vibes and you release the Heaters. Like, and even like without that, I mean, you're still doing like the dubstep, you're the UKG, the drum and bass, but then to also have this like chill side, which I've showcased like a little bit, but I mean, that is really like, especially now, that's like all I listen to is just like, you know, Bicep over Mono, like Future Garage, like just chill.
Yeah. Like there's a wicked wave of that going on at the minute as well.
Yeah, awesome. There's a really good scene for that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest, mate, that release of yours, which came out recently, what's that one on?
One?
Is it on, what's the name of the label again?
Dreaming.
Something of Doom?
Dome of Doom, yeah, Dreaming, yeah.
That is a really good tune, mate.
Thank you.
It's like a really good tune. The first time I listened to it, I was like, this is sick.
Deep Currents as well is another.
Yeah, that was another cool
one. That's a fucking stunner.
But yeah, those are the only two like main. Oh, I get like Up All Night. Like yeah, I guess you play Up All Night. It's like kind of in the, it's like,
I like that as well for the vibe of it, 100%.
Yeah, it does have the melodics. It's still like kind of heavier than the other two, but yeah, I mean, I haven't showcased much of that, but that's really like all I listen to in my free time. And that's funny. And then when I play shows, I don't play that stuff at all. Like I've never played. Oh, I've played Deep Currents before, but it's more like an afters, like late night thing. But usually I'm playing pretty peak time, high energy. Like I can't.
Me and Tom have had this discussion lots of times. As a DJ, like forget that you're an artist as well. As a DJ, there's a thing whereby there's an energy at night. And even though certain people want to hear your vibey stuff, it's hard not to be conscious of killing the vibe. And then there's going to be, do you know what I mean? There's definitely a shift in vibe. And also I've noticed it's deep from DJing for years. When you look up and you don't see a crowd moving, your first thought is, oh shit, I've lost the vibe. But I've started to become more comfortable with the fact that people are still soaking the sound in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And quite often people are just experiencing the set and they're not moving. And the amount of times I've spoken to people on tours about this, and they've said, like, when you see me moving, that's normally when I'm not really taking in the music. And when I'm actually really soaking in the sound, that's when I'm just like immersed in it. And it's kind of cool to think about it like that.
Yeah. And it really, yeah, I mean, especially that more like future garage kind of vibe. But yeah, I mean, even like when I'm like, I mean, I remember it was like over Mono a couple months ago at Lightning in a Bottle. And yeah, I mean, I was just standing there. Like it was like one of my favorite sets of the weekend, but I wasn't like fully dancing. I was just like, just standing there,
just taking it in. Yeah.
They're doing the whole journey. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm dancing like on the drops and stuff, but I mean, especially that kind of style, there's a lot of like breakdown energy or lack of energy in the breakdowns that you're really just soaking it in.
Yeah, man. Those guys are just absolutely killing it right now.
Yeah, insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Good lies, such tune. And I like me and Jay were discussing it. I really like the Turn the Page.
Oh yeah,
that they've done.
Insane. Yeah. It's a hard one to touch. But
exactly. It's difficult, but because they brought like that kind of heavier edge to it, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, the original was like possibly like top 10 tracks for me, definitely.
Yeah.
Growing up listening to it a lot. But yeah, they have done a sick job on the drops of it and stuff. I think the vibe's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when you on reflecting on the difference on the vibey side and the darker side, that's quite interesting really, because your EP on Mory is kind of more focused on the raw side of the garage.
Yeah.
That definitely gives us scope to explore the other side down the line as well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's been on my list too. Yeah, I definitely want to do a chill or a vibey one with you guys too. I haven't been awesome, like, and again, like I haven't like been releasing music for that long, so I am kind of still trying to like cement where I'm at and then branch out.
For sure.
Even though, I mean, I already am like
that
doing
makes sense,
branching out, but like especially like if you like come and like experience like my DJ sets, it's not that future like it's not the future sound. It's very much bangers in your face. So really want to get all these ones out first, and really kind of showcase this. I also like really like producing these, but yeah, definitely
yeah, sick, man. Well, we'll defo dive into this one's Nawty stuff as well. But just before we do, like, I thought it'd be cool to reference the fact that obviously you've been throwing events with Garage Access for a while. Are you like the head honcho there?
It's we kind of we kind of have a cool system in that anyone can throw a show. So it's a group of like 6-7 of us, like the main crew, and then we kind of have there are like no levels to it, even though some of us are doing more than like me and this guy Scott Nightwear definitely probably put on the most things. But we kind of have this cool, I kind of like that we don't have like a hierarchy, because anyone that wants to put together a show, like we actually just put together this 𝗘𝗡𝗏 New Light show that I had nothing to do with. I mean, I'll make it look like people might be like, oh yeah, they put that on, but no, I didn't do anything, because it was a Gerald Wufu. He goes by Wufu. But yeah, I mean, he put that all on. So it's like really like if anyone has an opportunity, they can just seize it. And it really makes us able to throw multiple events. And obviously, like when the event's together, we're all promoting it together and stuff. And we all do help out with stuff. Like, you know, if he needed my help, I would have jumped in and helped. Yeah, it's but I guess the people that throw the most shows probably me and Scott Nightwear. But yeah, it's been super fun.
And what was like the concept? Was it just to try and bring more garage or like UKG artists out to the States, or was it? Do you think there was a gap in the scene?
I mean, it was just to push UKG in the Bay Area. Like definitely. I mean, our main thing right now is really bringing UK artists. That was always like the goal from the start, but we couldn't really like say that from the start. Like we had no idea that anyone would like enjoy this at all. It was kind of crazy. But the first show ever was the first like official Garage Access show was literally like on a Thursday in an upstairs room at this place Monarch, which is where we throw a lot of shows now. That's kind of like our stomping grounds, but it's just the little upstairs room on a Thursday, can maybe fit like 50 people, and like it's not bad.
Wow.
Maybe they claim more, maybe like 50, 100. At least like on the dance floor, it's kind of like a weird layout, but like on the little dance floor, it's very small. Yeah, I'd probably say like 50 people. And it was a Thursday too, and it was not bringing anyone out. It was just local people. It was like, yeah, just like a UKG all night, nothing else. That was the whole thing. It was like a garage access
Sick.
UKG all night. And yeah, it like went off. It was crazy. Like we couldn't fit that many people in the room. I think it was free. Maybe it was like $5. But yeah, like the room was full. We couldn't do anything. Like we literally couldn't fit any more people. We were like, oh crap. And then the second show, I think it was upstairs again. Maybe it was downstairs. Literally by the third show, we already moved downstairs, which is a 250 cap. And then like technically, I think I was the first like no, the second like special guest. We started just bringing in special guests, which was like bigger or like someone that wasn't like a resident at first, and like just bringing in some outside names. But yeah, it grew extremely quickly. It was really cool. I think it was like our fourth show. We were like playing. We brought out Hans Glader to support like Scream and Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs. Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, but that's like us like supporting like another show. It's not us throwing our own.
Yeah.
But we threw. Yeah, I mean, we had like Hamdi's second show in America. The first one was Chicago the night before, but second show in America. I mean, Conducta. I don't know. I don't think it was his SF debut. I don't think it was his SF debut, but he had not played in SF in a while. And then ever since that show, he's playing like every like 3 months in San Francisco. It's kind of crazy.
Damn.
Conducta, I mean, yeah, Sammy Vergi. We got Interplanetary Criminal this Sunday. Man, I can't even like just
sick, man. Has it been like cool to see how that's grown? And have you seen demand grow for UK Garage as well? Like, is it because that's something Jay's noticed in the States, is that it's like Jay, you've been playing garage in your sets for a while, and it's sort of only really like the last 12 months that you've been getting massive responses. Is that
for sure? Fair? Yeah, absolutely. I've always played garage in sets. It's like my roots, but the reception's changed over the last 12 months 100%.
It's great, that and drum and bass. Like in America, like I feel like it was like drum and bass kind of like it was like a first little wave a couple years ago. Yeah, like a lot of people like in America, like they think I'm just like a drum and bass person. They still don't even understand like UKG, because I started like these drum and bass parties in Santa Cruz and was really pushing that style. But yeah, especially like in the bass scene, I think that's the difference. There's like always been the UKG scene. There's always been a drum and bass scene, but in America, it finally like merged. Not finally, it's been around, but more on like a mainstream appeal, and like I guess like dance floor appreciation. Drum and bass and UKG have like blended in, because it used to be, I feel like you're playing like a dubstep party, you play a drum and bass track, like everyone freezes, or like or something not like everyone just like freezes. They like don't know what to. They're like, no, this is a dubstep party.
What is now?
Yeah, but I feel like the genres are kind of like blending. Like people are just starting to appreciate other styles. But yeah, it's funny. It was like I remember like Unce 2 years ago. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Unce. It's like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like Unce 2 years ago. It's like definitely a bass music festival, and like 2 years ago, it was like everyone started closing their sets like with drum and bass, and then everyone would like get down to it, and you're like, oh yeah, finally, like they're playing drum and bass, and everyone's getting down to it. And then a year ago, it was like kind of like drum and bass, like a little, like it's kind of started happening like UKG. Like I don't think anyone realized, because they still didn't even really like get what it was, except for like producers. I feel like all the bass music producers have always enjoyed UKG. It's more like the fan level, they don't understand what it is. And then it was like this last year, I mean, it was like then everyone was playing UKG in their sets. Like it's just funny to see that.
No, it's cool. It's really cool, like to sort of watch and see how scenes evolve over there. It's pretty mad. But yeah, man, have you, because you guys played a show together, didn't you, in San Fran as well?
Yeah.
With
we
Handy.
Did. Yeah, that was...
Is that how you met each other for the first time, I think, was it?
That was meeting in person, yeah.
I think we'd like chatted about playlisting, like maybe some,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, we initially linked through playlisting, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And then we were like, yeah, we're going to be on the same bill together.
Yeah.
Which was dope.
Yeah, that show was awesome.
That show was great. Really good show. That was my San Francisco debut as well.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
Yeah, that was the first time being in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And is the scene pretty healthy? Like I'm guessing it is in San Francisco and the Bay Area.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard in the Bay Area. And like actually I would never say that. I mean, I don't know. I have my own outfit, but I'd never say that the bass scene is that healthy. I mean, it's just hard, and especially like I feel like we're like close to Northern California, and especially like the underground bass scene. Like the people that through that show, Wormhole. I mean, actually Benji that like runs it. He actually just moved down to LA, so Wormhole hasn't been doing as much in San Francisco, which is really hard. I know they were really burnt out. Like I would have said, yeah, it was really healthy. I think they were really holding it down. But they did kind of take a little step back. I know it was hard. They lost a lot, like lost money on shows. I mean, just in general, all of California and the whole scene. I mean, I would not say it's healthy, but it's still it's solid. There's a lot of like culture forming, and yeah, I would say like the passion for the music is always always healthy and thriving. But it is I mean, it's hard as a promoter, and like everything's so expensive now, and as a promoter, it's always hard to say
because of inflation and stuff, like costs are just. The odds you've experienced that as well, Jay, haven't you? Like
I couldn't believe it when I was asked out at the inflation. Just even on just pop into a grocery store to buy some fruit or something, I'd be like, "What? Yeah. How is it so high?
Expensive, and then everyone's broke. Like that's like everyone, especially
so less disposable income.
Yeah, especially the bass music scene.
Well, I'm guessing a lot of promoters in bass music are throwing it out of passion rather than to make money.
Yeah, I mean? And that's why I would argue that yes, the scene is thriving. It's great. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of love for the music, but it's like you have all this, and I feel like that's kind of what happened with Wormhole. Like they have all this passion. All these people are like, yes, like we love your shows, but then they post a show and the tickets are $30, and everyone's like, oh, we love you so much, but we can't pay $30. Like I experienced that as a promoter. It was I was throwing shows in Santa Cruz. I mean, it was like $5-10 at the door, and I'd be people like, oh, can you guest list me? I'm so broke right now. I was like, dude, like. If you can't pay $5 for a ticket, maybe you should just stay in. Like fuck. But yeah, I mean, it's just been hard, but you can like as Garage Access, like it's been very good. Like we actually have never lost money on a show, which is just crazy.
That's like, really good.
Wow, that's amazing.
With a show that we've put on ourselves, we've been involved with other shows that didn't make money because like we'll get added on. I mean, like. I just pulled ours up right now. I mean, yeah, we got thrown on like a Machine Drum and Unit show, Interplanetary Criminals, Scream. Yeah, I mean, all sorts of Gentlemen's Club. Like we get thrown on support on a lot of things, and not all those have made money, but anyone that we've thrown ourselves, which is usually in that Monarch basement, yeah, we actually haven't lost money, which is I don't know if any promoter has done that. But I mean, we we're very careful. We take certain risks. We only it's usually only US debuts with some of these artists, or at least like San Francisco. Like, yeah, it's usually like a one-off. And like, I mean, even we have all these artists like hit us up and they're like, oh yeah, we'd love to play for you again. And it's like, oh no, like we booked you. Like, not that we don't like you, but like that's done. Like we're all about like premiering new artists. So I think that definitely has helped. But yeah, I mean, in general, yeah, just people are broke. Everything's expensive. It's fucking hard. I also feel like COVID, there's just like been this like shift that like people have been like realized that they can just have fun and enjoy a weekend inside.
Oh, for COVID. For sure.
Things open back up. They just like don't need it. Like I feel like before COVID, it's like, all right, it's Friday, it's Saturday. Where are we going? Like we have to go out. It's
even Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There was a lot more. There was a lot more weekday shows before COVID.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot from touring.
Yeah, that's something that like liaising with Jay's agent, Corey at Submission, like there's pretty much 2 or 3 regular weeknight shows in the States. So if you do those on one
his network,
if you do like, so Jay played a couple of weeknight shows on the last run, but he's going back in September, and obviously he can't play the same towns like within 6 months. So it's just it is crazy, but
yeah, it's hard. And yeah, I just feel like people have found out that like they don't need to go out. I mean, honestly, me too. Like I, I have like I have like this upcoming weekend. Like I'm just like, yeah, I can finally just sit in the room.
I think it's the same in the UK as well, though. The nightclub culture in the UK has taken a massive hit over the last 3 years. But the UK has been different, in my opinion, in terms of like price point anyway, compared to that. It's not usually like an underground club night. Wouldn't be more than like £10-15 entry.
Yeah, it's rare that you'd pay the kind of ticket prices you would in the States, unless it was like,
if it was
like Chasing Status or someone like that.
Yeah, no, I did notice that when I was out there. It was really nice. Even like the festivals. I mean, like you look at like the lineup and like Outlook, and like you see like the prices. You're like, what? Like if this lineup was in America, I mean, it makes sense. Like if you're like paying for these, international artists, it's going to cost more over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's more. I mean, you guys know better than me, but I do feel like you have so many good artists so close by that it's easier. Like, I mean, they're probably just getting cheaper fees, and then it's just it all.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think obviously because we're a much smaller country geographically, one-off shows.
Yeah,
you're just staying in a hotel for one night.
Yeah,
it's like obviously if you're doing a transatlantic flight, the routing and
yeah,
all of that makes a real difference. And like so, the fee. You can't really do people favors, whereas because ultimately you're paying for a transatlantic flight and the costs are very high. Whereas obviously in the UK, there's probably a bit more of doing a mate a favor and it's still being fun,
Well, there's so many clubs like close there and public transportation. I mean, even just like California, like I just feel like a lot of people like don't even like realize like when they like visit, but like I mean, California's like fucking huge. Like I grew up in San Diego. Like that's 8 hours driving south. And I would love to give my San Diego friends, like it's literally still in the same state I'm in. And like I'd love to give them a homie discount, but like I need to either get on a plane or drive 8 hours. Like
trust me, for sure. The UK is such a small country. I remember the first time I went out and saw it. Yeah.
Like because we live in Birmingham, so we're right in the centre. So like London's an hour and a half, Manchester's an hour and a half, Leeds is an hour and a half, Bristol is an hour and a half. So that's like the 5 main party cities pretty much.
For me, an hour and a half is just San Francisco because I live in Santa Cruz. It's an hour and a half just to get to San Francisco. It's like, dang. It's like
I remember going to shows and people being like, "Yeah, we've driven 8 hours to come to the show," and I'd be like, "What?" And they're like, "That's just normal out here." It's like that's what we do to get to shows.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we could drive 8 hours and be in the north of Scotland.
Yeah,
it's the out celebrities.
Yeah,
but that does show like the passion for the scene, though. It's something that it's lovely to see. Like it's sick, really. That there is that, and like something that Jay, that you've experienced and like we've discussed is the real love for sound system culture that's like developed massively in the last 5 years, and like how important the system is. And do you think that's a case of like the scene maturing a bit?
In America or
in the States? Like it's something you've noticed, Jay, isn't it? Like how the nights are all about the system now.
Yeah, there's definitely been an influx in the system being a very important part of the night.
Yeah.
And that is really important. For me, I was into bassline, garage, and like I loved it, and I still do like it. I still like to go back and listen to it. But my first experience on a big sound system here in dubstep was like life-changing, because I'm like, I've never experienced sound like this before.
Yeah.
So you then realise the system, a lot of people, I mean, when I played at Lost Lands, I had people come out to the stage I was playing at, which was in the woods, like as a side stage.
Yeah.
And like somebody afterwards was just like, I can't believe like how good this sounds on this system. So it's like until you really experience it, you don't fully get some certain genres of music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So
and I mean, Deep Dark and Dangerous it's crazy to see their following here. It's really kind of you go to all this shit, you see all the merch everywhere. I mean, it's like it's pretty crazy, and they're really bringing kind of the old school. Yeah, kind of that classic sound of dubstep, like I guess kind of like back. I mean, it was definitely in America getting very aggressive and heavy, and it was really cool to see them.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
for
always
sure.
here. Like they weren't like the only ones, but I feel like almost the most prominent when it comes to events, merch, kind of culture, and just like a whole like just avid fan base there. It's just really cool to see.
For sure. That, and also goes without saying, probably the Black Box and the Submission Crew.
Oh yeah. When
Black you think Box. About their imprint in Denver.
Yeah. I went there twice when I was out there, but super.
I mean, Denver's it's like a mecca for bass music now. It seems.
Yeah, it's crazy how many shows there. I mean, I was there. It's. I didn't even want to go to shows. I was like, I don't need to go out, But like, I'm like, oh, Mystic State on a Tuesday, like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But shout out Mystic State. Amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I was hoping to catch them while I was there. We were crossing over for a day, but it didn't happen. But yeah, they're great lads. Very cool producers.
But yeah, I mean, I guess like moving on to this one's Nawty, man. We're just so stoked to have you on, Mory, and we couldn't be happier with like the release and yeah, man. How are you feeling about it all?
I'm feeling great. Yeah, I mean, this is stuff like these tunes are definitely ones I've been like sitting on for a while, and I really like. Yeah, it was definitely something that I wanted, like that UK support on these ones. I feel like it was kind of a perfect fit here. I mean, especially like that one with 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠𝗔 like I've been wanting, like that's the first one with like official like British MCs like on a track that I've had. I've done like bootlegs with like Logan and like stuff like that. But yeah, to have like official collab there, it was just, and especially for them, because like, we started on the collab even like before I like signed this with you guys, but I mean, especially like as like an American, I'm not like gonna, I don't know. I mean, maybe they'd be stoked on it, but in my head, I'm like, all right, like I have like British MCs on it. Like it needs to go to a UK label. Like I'm not putting this out like American label. It needs to be proper. It needs to be proper.
Sick, man.
But how did that come about?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did
the link with 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠𝗔 happen?
Man, I think I just like shot him a DM. I think it honestly might have been like, let me pull it up. I think again it was kind of a similar thing with you. I think it was the playlist thing. I mean, everyone loves that playlist. It's crazy. I just like made like I just made like a UKG playlist because like no one had a UKG playlist, and then like I literally get DMs from like people that like live in London that are like that. I got a SoundCloud message the other day. They're like, "Oh, you're the person that got me into UK Garage," and I look at them and they're like, they live in London. I'm like,
I love it. That's great, man.
It's gone full circle, man. You're
just
an
American guy.
Good for you, mate. Seriously.
Yeah, for people.
Their first message to me, "Yo, thanks for the playlist ad on Belly." But I love that track.
Okay. But yeah,
I threw that in my playlist, and it kind of. I mean, it blew up after that. I mean, I don't like it was. I'm not like, it wasn't like from my playlist or anything. But yeah, that was their first. Yeah, they just DM. I think they followed me, DM me, and said, "Yo, thanks for the playlist ad on Belly. Big ups." So
that's it, man. Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, for those who haven't checked out the playlist, it's called UK Garage Selections. Defo go check it out. It's
for sure
always being updated, and you're growing like a healthy little following on it as well, which is cool to see.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing crazy. I think it's at like 7,000 something likes now, but it just keeps like growing on its own. Keeps growing on its own. Like people, I mean, I also, I'm growing it like, I don't know. I mean, I'm a marketing guy. I got all sorts of ways of growing it. And like, I have all like my free downloads, and like to download my tracks, you got to like the playlist. But yeah, I mean, people just, there's so many, especially in America, I have so many friends that are just like, oh yeah, like now I'm into UK Garage because I just like shuffle that playlist nonstop. But yeah, I didn't really find, especially like on Submit Hub and UKF has a good one, like the Spotify one. It's like, pretty good. But yeah, I didn't find many like well curated like UKG playlists.
Sick, man. And so how was it working with the 𝗘𝗏𝗶𝗚𝗠𝗔 boys, lads? Was it?
It was great. I mean, I think like, so they sent me that DM, and like that was like that was over a year ago. And yeah, we just like chat here and there, and they just like, they like what I'm doing and I like what they're doing, and we like randomly chat. And then I think I just like kind of just like shot my shot and was just like, hey, like I'd love to get you guys on a track. And they were like, fuck yeah, like send us over an instrumental. I think I sent them the Wicked, like the track Wicked.
That is a tune, man.
It's cool, yeah, but it's not like perfect for like MC. Like I knew it needed something, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe like MC's over it, and they liked it. They're like, this is sick, but I don't know if it like fits our style. So I made that instrumental like just thinking of like for them, like specifically for them, made something fresh. And then Wicked, I just threw like just the sound clash vocals, and it needs something to tie it all together. And it could have been cool to like have full vocals on there, but I think it's kind of nice.
I think it's got enough character in the tune to hold its own without the top line on it, like the vocals.
Yeah. So it was cool to make something fresh just for them. I was kind of like thinking something dark. Like I really like their style. It's kind of like, fun and playful. So I kind of tried to do like a mix of like dark and playful. Some of the sound design is just like kind of like fun, and the little stabs that come in get like just add some kind of fun.
Yeah, because you've got that really cool, like the offbeat stab that comes in on the intro, like that speed garage kind of vibe one.
Yeah,
that gives it that sort of playful nature as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
defo, man. When you sent it over, me and Jay we were loving it straight away, man.
But it was interesting as well, because when I was playing my sets on the last tour, if it was like a 90-minute set, I'd do the first 30 minutes garage and go from like 130 up to 140. And playing Nawty definitely was a noticeable part of the set where people would like engage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%. People,
it's dark and gritty, like especially if it's a bass crowd, like I feel like they really like that one. And especially I don't know if you've been playing it into your remix, but that's
what I was doing on every single one. I'd always have mine queued up. Yes,
it goes off. Like I'll play the original and people are starting to get that. Then right when I play a remix, it's like fuck, game over. Like even my set because I played again in Denver, is like that studio set. And it would have been cool to open up with Nawty. Like it would have been a cool way to open up my set. But I was like, I can't play the ENiGMA Dubz remix like 2 minutes into the set. That like it's I can't. I have to build to that. So that has been a thing. And like Nawty still wasn't out, but I opened up Un's Festival with that track. It definitely is a really cool track, especially for me to open up sets with. Is like, it's got the Neumonic tag and all that. But I can't do that if I'm playing it into your tune. It's just I can't. Oh, I don't know. It depends who's playing before me. But
I would always save that little double to just before I went to 140 dubstep stuff, because I'll be like, now we're here. And to be honest, when I did that remix, I knew that it just had to be totally obnoxious, because I was like, the original's got such a vibe about it. I was like, if this is going to be a remix, it's just got to be like, fuck off, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Utter filth.
When I first sent it to Tom,
I think my response to Jay was like, I don't know what to do with myself. This is so filthy.
I don't even know if I like this. This is really offensive. And I'm like, fucking yes, go on.
It's so obnoxious.
It is really obnoxious. But
it works. It works. Yeah.
I did actually like slightly soften it sonically from the initial draft, because the initial draft was even more obnoxious.
Well, it was because the initial draft was just
I keep playing
it was
the initial
sick,
draft, I think. I don't think
but it was like being pummeled. It was like being pummeled repeatedly. With there was no respite.
That's what I'm playing. I'm definitely playing I have not had an update. So I'm definitely
you've got the one that was updated after I sent it to Tom initially.
Oh, really?
The first draft. The first draft I would have shared to Tom and been like, we're going to share it with Nick once I've got fresh ears on it. And Tom was like, yeah, this is like really intense. Like there's
I was like, it's fucking sick, but you just need some
respite, because it didn't go deep and have the vocal section. It just stayed stayed hard.
No, it was the vocal,
and I was like, the first minute I was like, loving this, and then after about 1 minute 30 I was like, fuck fuck my life.
No, the Reese and the vocals coming back in really give a little break, and
and then you can mix.
It's funny, but Jay was like, "That's why I like it so much, man." But man, and like some of their bars as well are fucking hilarious.
That
so funny.
Yeah,
really cool, and they all killed it as well, and bring their own flow and charm, which is really, and they're sick guys as well, really.
I like the 4 MC kind of thing. I mean, we just had that write up on like that London thing, and the first thing we had like, similar to Corrupt FM, and I'm just like, yes.
It
really does kind of give that vibe of like kind of like fuck around, multiple different. Or I guess Corrupt FM is just like
just Grinder, MC Grinder,
Grinder,
Lyrical G.
And Steve's.
Yeah, man. But it was sick to see Shosh support as well, because we sent it to her and she really dug that, and Wicked as well was the other tune she was really feeling. So it's dope that she's got on board.
And the video was very cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just reflects the mood of the track really well, and their playfulness with it as well.
Yeah, I always love their little fisheye style like videos. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are doing that, but they really do. And even like when he does the little close-up thing, and you guys had that as the thumbnail.
Yeah, and he's still rocking the Adidas trackies as well, which is just classic, man. But yeah, man, also Makes Me as well. What a tune that is, because that's one you've been kind of playing out for a while, and one of your more requested dubs / IDs.
Just Dubz, not the ID.
Oh, he's calling me out now.
Tom, man, get with the program.
Binger would be proud.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's so funny because I call it Dub with my friends, but then, I've been playing that one out for a while. It's definitely, and then I mean, it also like outside of playing out, it was also like the first clip on that. Honestly, like me posting like that 10-track clip really kind of like, it was kind of crazy. I guess I hadn't shared a lot of my music. Like I definitely am like kind of secretive about that. And I posted just like that 10-track like video. And I know that's why you guys actually reached out.
Oh, 100%. I hit up Tom straight away, just like that first track, because I think Makes Me was the first one, wasn't it?
Makes Me was the first one.
I remember being like, oh, what is this?
Because it was funny because like we, as you know, like have been building Mory for a couple of years, like releasing ENiGMA Dubz tunes and then doing some more collabs and remix projects and stuff. And we had like a catch up saying that, right, I think we're ready to sign artists. Mm-hmm. And your name like came up like already on our shortlist of the kind of artists that we think would be sick to work with. And then you threw those kind of waveform things up, and Jay just WhatsApped to me, was like, Tom, we need to
Neumonic. Let's hit Neumonic.
We need to hit him up quick.
But right when I posted that, I had a lot of people asking about, I mean, all of them, but that one specifically. I mean, I also live with it on purpose. Like it's definitely
it's a head turner,
very catchy, and it really like because like that moving track of mine, I mean, it just hit 100,000 streams. Like people really love that. I feel like it's kind of like similar, kind of like UKG kind of baseline blend, but it really has more of like a UKG influence, and it has the stabs, and it's more like
because it's got obviously the broken beat, but the synths and like the bass wubs are like a bit more aggressive than some UKG kind of thing.
Definitely. Well, so it really like I mean, moving is just like overly aggressive. It's like very dubstep. It's like in your face, high frequency heavy. Like I feel like a lot of UKG is really a lot like sub heavy. But it's like kind of like a blend of that, and then with like the vocal, like the female like vocal chops and the stabs, it's just very like groovy, funky. Definitely like more of a
UKG. and the bass as well, because it's got that harmonic to it. It's just like it like sings. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's naughty, but at the same time, it's got a real sort of sick melodic groove to it as well.
Yeah, because it's at 130 as well, isn't it? Like Jay and I were discussing that it is like actually at 130 BPM, it still kind of grooves. Because you know, some garage where it's a bit quicker, like at 136 or 138, like this one just still, it kind of, I don't know, because it's that little bit slower, like I don't know, it just kind of grooves.
No, the 130 is a little sweet spot. I really like 130. It's funny, like even when I'm DJing sets, I rarely go as slow as 130. I'm usually playing it sped up.
Yeah, I know that one as well, because I think new school garage is like a sort of it's so quick. The bass, the amount of 140 stuff coming out is pretty crazy.
Yeah, all the old stuff. Yeah, like 130, 132. That used to be my sweet spot, and then like all the
for sure, like for sure,
135. And even when I mix, like I think my Ableton like default is 135. And then I mean even 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠𝗔 Nawty. I mean, I actually made that instrumental at 130, and they sped it up to 138, or maybe it was like 132. But they sped it up to 138.
That's
they were
interesting.
Like, it works better with our flows.
Yeah, that is interesting. But like, what made you want to do Mates Me at 130? Was it like just to have that kind of groove? Like,
yeah, I really liked the slower groove. Also, there's a lot going on with like the drums. Like it's really swung. I throw in the break beat here and there. Like it can be a lot at faster BPMs. And really like just listening, I really like just that 130. It's just a little sweet spot. And even if I'm playing it quicker, I almost like want the listener to like listen to it at 130. And then if I'm DJing it, maybe it's gonna be like 135 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm guessing like because in the hype of the event, it's like because I'm a drummer. If I'm playing a tune live, it'll inevitably be probably about 5 BPM quicker because you're just hyped. Do you know what I mean?
I very rarely play a set at 0. Even if I did a full 140 set, I'm normally on like 1.5-ish.
Yeah.
But whenever I've played Makes Me, it's normally like not my first tune, so I end up dropping it about 134, 135.
Yeah.
Depending on where I've started the set, do you know what I mean? Or what other garage has been played before.
Yeah. It still really works at that BPM, but I do think, for kind of listening, like it's a lot going on at 135, and that can be cool on a dance floor, but for listening, I guess I just kind of stuck with the 130.
On a technical tip, what are you using for the bass in that track?
I'd have to pull it up, but I'm pretty sure it's just Serum.
Yeah, Serum.
No, it's definitely Serum, and it actually was a foghorn bass that I made, but I made it, I just kind of like made it into more of a wub. It was like a foghorn that I was using a while ago, and then I was like, all right, I still want it to be like aggressive like a foghorn, but then I just used LFOs and just made it wubby.
I was gonna say, now I can actually imagine it as a foghorn without the LFO on it.
Yeah, it is a foghorn, and then you can hear it on the second drop because I go straight. Like the second drop, it's completely open on the drop, and it's just a straight foghorn. But yeah, it is a foghorn. It's super fun. Yeah, it's just I was trying to like still have it like very like heavy aggressive bass, but kind of add some more melodics and kind of groove to it.
Because one thing I absolutely love is when you've got a bass sound in a tune which is so strong and nice to listen to. All you have to do is variate the rhythm in the tune, and you don't have to keep switching the bass sound. Do you know what I mean? Because I think sometimes basses are switched too often, and you'll hear a sound and be like, "Damn, that could hold the whole tune that good," and just be cool with it. And that's exactly what Makes Me does. It's variate the LFO rhythm, and it doesn't need. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to go anywhere else outside of that actual bass patch. Really, it's sick.
Yeah, and I'm switching up and. I mean, even Makes Me, I'm pretty sure it's a good old one note bass going on there, and I am
and then just pitch bending it down.
I'm pitch bending it up, and it like varies between pitch bending up and pitch bending down.
Yeah,
and then
you can feel that.
The kind of like melodics, I'm like doing it with everything else. So it's like, that one bass is like kind of holding it, and then all the stabs and the vocal chops, like that's really what's actually adding like melodics and other notes and everything.
Yeah.
But sick, man. And have you always produced in Ableton? And what was your kind of journey into production? Was it because you wanted to make your own tunes, or was it like, I don't know, I'm just intrigued.
Yeah, I've always been in Ableton. I've never even really tried anything. I mean, I remember like ages ago I had like Audacity, which is like barely, and like I was messing around in there.
Damn, Audacity.
Also, yeah,
that's what Burial used to make a lot of his early albums, man.
Yeah. No grids or anything. That's why his stuff is so like swung, because he's just like humanly swung. Because
that's sick. I used to, when I first started, I was using something called Mixmeister, which was a broadcasting software, and that was the same. There was no snap grid to snap to.
Yeah,
but interesting. So you had Audacity.
Yeah, I had Audacity. It was funny. I actually used to make mixes in Audacity, and I didn't even know what BPM was. This is why I was like,
that's what I was doing in Mixmeister. I was just making mashups and mixes.
I literally didn't know what BPM was, and I was like fading in and out, and like somehow like in my head it still worked. And I remember I had friends that were like solid DJs, and they were like, "Bro, like you're making this in Audacity. Like, why don't you just learn how to DJ? Like, if you can make stuff this good and like in Audacity without knowing what BPM was, you should just like become a DJ."
Yeah, you clearly got an ear for it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, I think I took down all those SoundCloud mixes because I didn't want those transitions to be public on my SoundCloud. But some of them blew up. Like, I mean, I had like some old house mixes that had like like 20-30,000 plays. It was just kind of crazy. But yeah, no, all Ableton for production. I got into Ableton like, oh, actually like a while ago. Because I mean, I've always like really been in the same with DJing. Like, I mean, even like in high school, like all my friends were DJs, and that's kind of why I didn't want to be a DJ because all my friends were house DJs. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Desert Hearts, like house music, but they all like went to my high school, and there's like
Okay.
Cut Snake and Fisher, like they all like were from
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Cut Snake was like my neighbor. Yeah, I mean, it's just all these house artists in San Diego.
So is this in San Diego?
Yeah, it was a bubble, and it was like all these house artists are all from there, and like just everyone was a DJ, and I was like, yeah, I just like didn't want to. I mean, I would like still like I was like the guy really digging for tunes and sending them tunes and be like, oh yeah, you should play this, you should play this. They're like, oh, I'm opening up for this. Like, what should I play? So yeah, I definitely was I guess selector in sense, and I literally was like downloading music. I've just always downloaded me. I've always bought and downloaded music, and even so, then when I became a DJ, I was like, all right, I have all this music that I've downloaded for years, and I always like knew I wanted to be one, but I just or not even wanted. I knew I was going to be forced to be one.
Yeah.
But I just like didn't actually want to do it because all my friends did it. But yeah. And then production, yeah, I had Ableton I've had it for like I don't even know, probably like 7 years. I think I got it in college, like to mess around. And I was making house music and it was just boring because I was like DJing house music and I was really into house music in college. That was just kind of like what people were into and it was fun party vibes.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, it really bored me and like definitely did make a good amount of it, but like it was just kind of boring and formulaic and I was like, this just doesn't really like intrigue me. And then I got into it was like making like drip drop and I started making like some bass music and that was just a lot more and UKG I guess like quickly after that. But yeah, and right when I started making UKG I was like, okay, this is fun. And like even like DJing it's always like my favorite, but it's just so much more fun and like less.
And it's not as fatiguing to make because with house music you get it does sort of pummel you to a point where you're like this 4 to the floor kick and this repetitive rhythm which has got to be there. Yeah, unless you're partying, it can be like, okay, this is getting pretty overwhelming now.
Yeah, I mean, and it like has to follow this formula, and it like has to be competitive, and that's like kind of like the whole point of it. And yeah, it's just really, I don't know, just boring to me. Honestly.
No, I still love listening to house music, but I do know from experience that producing it can be quite heavy compared to having a bit of breathing space, even in just the percussion. It's like, do you know what I mean? You can sort of last a lot longer making it.
Yeah. But then yeah, it really wasn't. And then I mean, that was like years ago. And then I kind of stopped and I've had Ableton and like I just like didn't open it like for ages. And then even when I was like really pushing my DJ stuff like 5-6 years ago, I like always was like, I'm not gonna produce. Like I was like, I don't want to produce. Like, you know, I did that. Like it's not fun. I don't enjoy it. And then I'm also just a very social person. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to lock myself in my room. I'd rather like DJ and like be social than sit in my room producing. So really it was like for the first part of like Neumonic stuff, I really like was kind of like avoiding production. I was like, oh yeah, that's not my thing. Like I'm a social person. And then I don't know, I think I just got older and like I was just like, yeah, I actually, a weekend by myself in my room actually sounds great. So then I actually and also my DJing was getting to a point that I was like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, I was playing with like some big artists and like, I don't know, it really was cool and I did have a couple tracks and then, yeah, I was really like playing my own tracks live. I'm like, wow, this is cool. Like,
absolutely. Wow. So I was hoping you get onto that. It's a big turning point, isn't it? When you can come with your own artillery and then especially when people are like, what's this?
Yeah. No, definitely. Like it was just super rewarding. Like, yeah, right when I started doing that, it was like, okay, like, all right, this is what, like, you know, I am definitely like a DJ at heart and I love DJing other people's music, but yeah, like playing my own stuff that I made and seeing a dance floor move to it, definitely like that I guess really just kind of accelerated me wanting to, I guess, take the production more seriously. And I already had all like the knowledge and stuff. And
I was gonna say, did you like in terms of music theory and stuff? Because obviously you know your way around like chords and things. Like, Is that just self-taught, or did you?
Yeah, it's just, I have no, I mean, even in my head, I still don't think I like know anything about that stuff. But then I do get in the studio with other people and they're like, yeah, I guess no less than me. But in my head, and I think it's just because like I mean, in college, I actually did take like I did take actually like an electronic music class in college. It was very bare bones, and I think we were doing stuff. Is it like Reaper? Is that like a DAW or
Yeah,
something? Like,
Reaper, yeah.
yeah, I was literally like doing stuff in Reaper for like this like college class. It was
Okay.
very, very bare bones. But in that class, yeah, we did actually have to learn like some music theory and things like that. I still would never call myself great at music theory, but
But I'll
yeah,
be from my experience, like me and Tom are both like musically trained, which
yeah,
really helps. But you do find that people just have an intuition with music and they feel it and they get it, and you'll hear
yeah,
something off and know it's off. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes as well, from my experience, knowing all the rules is really cool. But sometimes it can then make it even harder to break them. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And I've
yeah,
been in there in the past working with other artists who know that I'm classically trained, and they're like, "I'd love to hear what you made if you
yeah.
weren't classically trained." And I'm like, "That's interesting. Actually, you can probably hear
Yeah.
it sometimes."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, you clearly know enough to be making really sick music.
Yeah,
Man,
and like
really sick.
yeah, yeah, I definitely like have the ear for it, and so that definitely helps. I mean, even like when I'm in moving, like I remember because like I mean I am like I do know what I'm doing, but like even like when I made moving like ages ago, like I mean I only put it out like a year ago, but I remember I had producers who were like, "Did you?" He was like, they were like, "Did you make this like in major key?" And I was just like, I don't know. Let me check. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I did. Like I didn't like
Yes.
I didn't say I was like I was just playing on my push and I like sometimes like I feel like if you like put it in key or something, it just doesn't always like I don't know. It's just it can feel like very like formulaic. But yeah, I like moving's in like a major key, and everyone's like, oh, like you don't make bass music like in a major key, and I was like, well, I did.
And you're all
Yeah,
loving it, yeah.
I mean, it's only like
So,
3 notes too, so I
well,
mean, it's not.
Jamie XX played it, so
Yeah, and it's
jokes
in a
on
major.
them.
Yeah, it's in like and now and it's funny because now when I sit down on Ableton, it's like oh yeah, like we're gonna F minor, D like
So
G
a
minor.
semitone movements and minor keys, yeah.
Yeah, it's always gonna be a minor, and then I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, moving's like in a major key, like nothing wrong with that. Like
I know I've made tunes before and played it in the car. My wife's like, "This is in a major key. This is unusual for you." And I'm like,
yeah,
sun was out. Felt quite enthusiastic, like quite
yeah,
optimistic.
Yeah,
yeah,
sick, man. And like, I mean, just to give a shout out to the other two tunes as well, like Wicked is such a heater, man.
yeah,
It's a really cool. It might even be my favorite tune off the EP.
yeah.
Like, I love all four of them, but
No,
I
it's
think
it's a,
because
it's a
obviously Makes Me and Nawty are very immediate, like
yeah,
because of
they're in your
obviously
face
how
too.
catchy Makes Me is, and then Nawty obviously because of the top line.
Yeah.
But like Wicked's just one of those that just really grows on you and gets under your skin.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when I was out in Denver, like my friend had like the private listen on SoundCloud, and he's like, "Bro, why haven't I heard like Wicked?" Like I think everyone like has heard Naughty and Makes Me so many times, and I play Wicked, but I just don't think people like even like realize it's my track.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm not a mic guy. Oh, this is my new track.
yeah.
Bass music people in America love to do that. Yeah, no, I don't do
To be
that.
fair,
But
that's something I do say to Jay
Tom's
sometimes.
always like, make sure you're shouting it out, but like,
oh yeah, you have to have the manager telling you
It's
that.
like
yeah,
I don't want it to be like super forced. It's just if we know there's a tune coming out.
Yeah.
from a
Yeah,
marketing point of view, but like, I know what you mean, Nick, in terms of
yeah.
I
like
say
being
I
like,
say I do it here and actually no.
Yeah, it's a fine balance. Like
I have
if it's
no
not
help
your
for you.
thing,
No.
like that's cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of very, very well respected artists don't do that and
Yeah.
haven't suffered for it. But
I
Yeah.
understand why it's helpful. It's just like, and if you do
Yeah.
it tastefully, it's fine. But like, I mean, I don't know. I see sets like from basic and like they do it like every other track, and it's like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I haven't.
That's too much.
I'm yet to shout 1, 2, 3, 4 though. I haven't done that yet.
Oh yeah.
Just 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then jump up.
Your hands up.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, yeah, I think Jay, the first time I saw footage of you do it was like when you did that. Was it 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠𝗔 VIP in Denver?
Yeah.
And you were like, "This is the first time anyone in the world has heard it," or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the place went nuts. So I think sometimes it
after a wheel up, it's sick, but then during the set when you got to turn it down and spoil the energy, it's a bit like you're in a club, not on the radio, and it's, do you know what I mean? It can be a bit. After a wheel up, I think it's cool.
Yeah,
and I've got more comfortable at doing it now.
Yeah. Now, or it's like a long breakdown. Like, I mean, I just hate getting on the mic, but I have gotten on the mic a few times lately when it's been a big show, when there's a huge crowd, there's a lot of energy, and it's like a breakdown in tracks. But yeah, it's usually not shouting out tunes. It's usually like, I forget
just
what I
to
said,
big up
like,
the crowd kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm always like a meme on the mic. Even that show we played, I was listening to the recording. I like did can I get a yeah? Like I said that.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I said.
That's I remember being introduced to that. Oh yeah, when I went to one festival and everyone was going, oh.
It's fun. Yeah, I don't know.
So what is going on here?
Yeah, that set, I was off the mic the whole time, and then there's like a breakdown, and then I was just
felt like the natural time to do that.
Well, like Hamdi like walked on stage, and then I was just like, I gotta hype him up, and I was like, oh, who's ready for Hamdi? And then everyone was like, yeah, and then I was like, fuck, like why am I on the mic? And then I said something dumb, and I was like, oh yeah, so can I get a yeah?
And then it went mad.
Yeah, I was just like,
yeah.
And then you were like, that's why I don't go on the mic.
Yeah. Well, if I'm getting on the mic, I have to say something dumb. I don't know. That's kind of like yeah.
Like ironic.
Don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah,
ironic mic gimmicks.
Yeah.
Sick, man.
But sometimes I can tell at an event, I'm like, this isn't a mic event. Like the crowd have to be the right crowd for the interaction to work as well.
Yeah.
And the same with wheel ups. So I'm the same with wheel ups. It takes me a lot to wheel a tune. I'll only wheel it if it's really like feels necessary.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes when the energy's good, I'm like, no, we've got to keep the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when DJs do it too much, they're wheeling up like every other tune and stuff. It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it can get overly done, definitely.
Yeah.
But then also, how many times
on SoundCloud, and I was like, this
is
but watching it, I'm like, fuck yeah, it's like fun, like he's having fun. But yeah, if you're just like listening, you're like,
I know. And how many times have you experienced wheeling a tune and you're over like really hyped, but then you realize shit, like people weren't vibing as hard to this tune as I thought.
Yeah, no, that's a thing.
That's definitely happened before. So
well, I don't wheel up that much. Like I had wheel up like last Thursday. But yeah, I mean, if they're screaming wheel up, then yes, I'm gonna do it. And then I think Lightning Bottle, I wheeled it up on like that one just wild dubstep track, which that was deserving. But it was funny. I even like posted that video like on TikTok and I like Instagram, like I don't know, I have a solid follow, but TikTok it like reaches new people, and I had like 3 comments that were like, dude, just play out the track, like don't
yeah, just so there's always like that.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like it's America. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know one thing I've got to get into the habit of doing though is introducing myself as an artist at the start of sets, because I never do it. Very rarely I remember, because then I think to myself after, like, and Tom's told me, like, you'll have a lot of people there who don't actually know who you are as well. So just because your name's on the flyer, sometimes just starting with like, this is ENiGMA Dubz, like this is whatever, blah blah blah. Like it can be a pretty good thing to do at the start of the set.
Yeah, I guess I've done that a few times.
Unless there's an MC or a host.
Or there's visuals behind you and they got my logo up. That's another thing. Like,
true, that
logo up behind me. I'm like, oh, I don't need to do that. But especially Lightning Bottle, I did have a lot of people. Like, there's no visuals on that stage. It was a packed crowd, and
man, that
a lot of people that were like found me like 2 months later off one of those videos. They're like, oh, you're that guy that fucking played UKG, whatever that is, at Stacks. But like, I guess a lot of people had no idea. Or not just a lot of people that were passing by had no idea. And I don't know, I'm the kind of person that like, if I like a set, I'm gonna like pull up the set times, figure out who it is, screenshot it.
For sure. Yeah,
not everyone's like that.
The people who are into it, but I think it was probably a good 8 years into DJing in venues before I even touched a mic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. It just didn't feel like the thing to do, but
I mean, the bigger shows, like I feel like the bigger shows you do, it just becomes more like everyone's doing it, and if everyone else is doing it, then it's like you kind of feel like you have to.
And then straight after sets, Tom will ring me and be like, "Did you go on the mic?"
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "Yes." And he'll be like, "Did you shout that tune out?" And if I didn't, I'm in fucking trouble. So
goes on the naughty step.
I go on the naughty step. This one's naughty.
Yeah, this one is naughty.
Yeah,
and you'll go in there
like a tally chart that's growing.
Yeah, and then like I get the final tune, Reborn. What's the story behind that? Is there like a deep connection to that, or reason why it's called Reborn, or is it
just felt like the mood of it?
Yeah, I was making that like late night. It was just, it's such like a kind of like trippy, dark.
Yeah,
it's it's quite a weird tune, isn't it? Like it's
really weird. It's really weird.
In like a good way, but
no,
it's
in a
just
good
kind
way.
of,
yeah.
I think I called it I think literally the first time I like saved it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like that was the name of it. Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah, because you don't know where it's going, or like
it's a very like kind of like trippy, and like it has the melodies is really dark and like gloomy. But yeah, Reborn just really was just kind of resonating with me for that one. I think especially like closing the EP. I think also when I was working on that, I have a lot of other like just really weird stuff like that I'm wanting to put out. So I mean, part of me was like, oh, it's like kind of like almost like
this is a
like
new chapter almost of like
this new
like,
chapter, like new kind of like sound, like a new kind of like style, I guess, of like UKG.
I like that. And so there is like a meaning behind it. Then behind the name.
Yeah, I mean, it just it really like kind of like, I don't know, I can't think of many tracks that sound like that, and it was really just something fresh and kind of new, and kind of a blend of like, dark dubsteppy stuff with like still like that two-step, but like
with the crossover. Yeah, it's like a proper crossover tune.
And I was listening to a lot of 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠 when I made that.
Yes.
Like just the trippy journey, like dark, and I mean, I actually play it after this one. What's that one 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠 track? What is it? There's this like 1.5 by 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠. I don't know if you know, like I love that.
Once we come off this, I'm coming and listen to that.
Yeah, I was listening to that track a lot when I made it, and you can definitely like hear it. And I definitely have played this track, or I've played 1.5, and I'll like play 1.5, and I'm like, I have nothing else that fits this vibe. Like this, like what can I play with this? So I kind of like made a track similar that I can kind of like play with it. But yeah, just the very trippy.
That's so cool how like you're kind of envisaging the DJ set and kind of retrofitting a tune to that.
Yeah, I love that.
Like that's really cool.
When you've got the power to actually do that and go, what's my set missing? Where am I going to transition from this to that? I'm going to make something.
Yeah.
For sure. That's a good way actually of coming up with something fresh as well. Because if you're struggling to find something, that means somebody needs to make it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually kind of have that happen a lot. I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like a DJ at heart, so that kind of like is one of the first things that comes into my head, and it's not even like I want to copy this person. It's like, oh no, I want to like play something that like fits that like showcases my sound that can fit into this sound.
For sure, man.
And
or even like acting as a transition to go somewhere else, I guess, as well.
Yeah, and that's what Reborn is. It's definitely a lot heavy. Like 1.5 is just like by 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠 is very trippy, melodic, but it's not like heavy like dancing. There's not heavy bass. So yeah, it really plays as something. I mean, I don't even like always like play them together, but it was like I was wanting to go for this kind of trippy vibe that 𝗘𝗡𝗶𝗚𝗠 was doing, but also make it kind of darker and heavier, more like that people could get down to it. But it definitely is like afters. Like I don't normally play that one out. It definitely is like a very late night kind of trippy vibe, and I need to play something. Like I've played it for friends and at after parties and stuff, but
it's after party vibes, isn't it?
Definitely after party vibes. Yeah,
that's sick.
I love making that stuff. Yeah, and it's like, it's like the stuff that like I enjoy listening to, and it won't always be the stuff in the DJ sets. It's like same with the future garage kind of stuff, but Reborn is definitely kind of like in between that. It's definitely
heavy. Oh yeah, man, four very sick tracks. When you sent over the tracks for us to listen to and consider, we were like sport for choice, really. So
yeah,
man.
For sure.
Big up, and for anyone who hasn't checked it out, go check out This One's Naughty.
For sure.
Yeah, I think when this comes out, it will be in the run up to release day. So yeah, go pre-order it or check out the singles, and yeah, it'll be going live Friday. Is it the 16th of August? Yeah. So that's the date. And haven't you got a show like that weekend as well? Or is it later in the month? I think maybe.
I'm kind of taking a break all of August. There was a festival I was supposed to play in Colorado, but they just had to cancel it because the venue backed out.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Damn.
Because I think that was what I was referencing. But
well, that's like the end of August 30th. Well, I mean, I actually am looking at my schedule now. I am playing 2 small things in Santa Cruz. Yeah, 17th and the 10th. It's more like it's private. I guess it's the afters kind of vibe. So yeah, I probably will be playing Reborn out in the
Reborn.
trees. Yeah.
Sick.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's private.
So now you've got some space to get creative again then.
Yeah, that's
maybe you can cook up the future garage EP that we'll put out.
That's the plan, yeah. But I also have like 20 collabs on my computer that I haven't touched.
Oh, okay, yeah.
People are sending me shit and I need to stop taking them. But yeah, I'm being that annoying person. I hate it when other people do this to me, and I'm doing it to like 20 people right now. So I need to sit down, focus in the studio, stop traveling all the time. Yeah, I mean, I am playing with Interplanetary Criminal. That's a Sunday. And then that's my last, I guess, like public show that I'm going to be promoting for all of August, which is nice.
Well, big up to you, mate, because you're the first like guest signing on to Mory, and the experience has been sick working with you as well. Like genuinely, you're so on point with everything. So big ups to you, man.
Yeah, and most importantly, the music's sick, man. So
yeah,
but like, it's been great to chat as well and like find out a bit more about what got you into kind of bass music, and that's kind of what these ENiGMA Chatz episodes are all about. Like,
delve into it,
sick, bro. Well, I guess is that a wrap, Jay?
That's a wrap. I can stop the recording. How long's it been going for?
Hour and a half?
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
Yeah, nearly. Yeah.
Sick,
mate.